Yes, we are live. Wow, it looks so strange, but it's obviously something that I've been doing for quite a while. But I've been away for quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. But this is the TNN TV Media Empire today in a very special program to announce we return back into mainstream blogging. And we talk about a very important issue. As usual, what we talk about on this channel are very, very important issues. But today is centered around something where a very destructive force in our country. It's been much talked about. Some people in the interest of good and for the nation. Some people in a selfish way. For those of you who don't begin for join the channel, we ask you we know it's going to take a while for you to develop because I've been having a lot of questions being asked. What's going on? Is everything okay? And etc. And this has been a number of weeks. But please help for share, and if you join later, not forget to do the usual ritual. This is not the TNN TV Media Empire, and pretty soon we will introduce we guest to now, and we guest not to BB Ginger because she's got a heavy voice now social media. Now something we they affect us the nation, like I say, we want to talk about today, and we guest. She's said a lot about it, and let me just go straight into it. It's going to be in various parts, but not just one segment. So I want to talk about the drug called Kush, where they wreak havoc now we country. Not only we country per se, but we want to focus on we country. But during this program, we go little bit and go touch other side and which is having an effect. Not on the people themselves, because we do sympathize with other people who are caught up in this, but how we own citizens then get for, you're sort of kind of involved or allegedly involved with these other countries in terms of push, which has become synonymous in terms of drug in our country. This particular new drug is causing too much problems in the country. We understand, say, from a conservative estimates that it killed almost like 12 plus more people every week, and within that same weekday, dozens and dozens more are hospitalized. And all of this get a backdrop effect on government and economy, and this is interesting to see how we go able to connect government into this today. This drug, what they call Kush, as we understand them, is taken mostly by man them or individual them or citizen them, where they in the late teens, 17, 16, but mainly 17, but in the early and mid 20s. So between 17 and 25 or 26, now the category of people in this who are heavily involved with this Kush drug business. Waiting this Kush can do, it can cause people them for just sleep on themselves. Or themselves. Sometimes when they walk out, it look like a zombie-like nature of things, if you like. You don't see people in team up. If you buy that old Chinese film, they watch way back, no point intended, and I don't mean for make fun out of them. But this is exactly what it is. In this case, you're not there in your own right senses, and they sleep, they walk out. And sometimes they fall over, but you're not really they fall down. You just they hang. This is phenomenal. And we not one day see, me not believe I don't ever see things like this before. Man, they just they walk out into traffic where they don't take them. So again, this thing don't stretch over to neighboring countries, Liberia, Guinea, and the Gambia. And we've been on the news recently, and bad news for Sierra Leoneans because then they attach we name to something we not of any good nature. And there's an increasing number of young people who don't begin to take this business here. And this is really, really worrying. Really, really worrying. And obviously, it's almost taking like Jamba, but we'll talk about this. But for help we for understand all of this, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very special guest. She's been on the platform once or twice in the past. And she's here again to help us for understand. But just before we introduce her, we tell Una, please don't touch that down because it's going to be an interesting conversation. And please help for share. Thank you. We guest tonight is none other but Madam Dolly Tarawali, but her AKA is the Lioness from the North. And before we begin to go into the subject matter this evening, Dolly, I want to do a brilliant welcome to you and want to say thank you very much for your vehement persistence and your passionate call, not only on the issue we want to talk about today, but with political landscape, with social landscape, as to what's happening in our country. I say this because when I listen to you, and I've listened to you for a number of years now, and the way how you express, the way how you feel, because this is how you can determine how passionate somebody is about something. You know, I want to commend you for that, but equally so, I want to say thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule for appear on the TNN. Welcome, my dear sister. For begin with, Dolly, you get this great name, Lioness from the North. So some people, it sound like, fearful Lioness, from the North. Give me a bit of a background about this name. What is this name supposed for mean? How did you come up with it? And whose message you intend for convey across to Fambule in terms of Lioness from the North?
Thank you very much, Mr. Priest. Thank you. Fambule, when you listen, both home and abroad. Me, not the great Lioness of the North. They call me Dolly by my name, Dolly Tarawali. I'm a Sierra Leonean, based in the UK. And me, Naliba by tribe, I come under the North. Me is Sierra Leonean. Well, Mr. Prince asked a question about how I come with the name, the Lioness. Well, I started this social media thing way back in 2017 when the campaign did go up. By then, we didn't just feel to say, now from two, we just do tweak and sensitize people, and then we get so normality. Will not be no say we'll go into this. Well, I get me partner, women and they, I look, I call myself the lion. Say, I roar like a lion. We at the talk. I said, well, okay. They said that we need to make something to make a name out of it. So not true. My partner, not in bring this name come up. They say you are roaring like a lioness. So I will give you the Lioness. So that's how I come up with that name as the Lioness from the North.
Right. Dolly, many thanks for that, because even myself, I sort of like the name, the way you coin them, but to some people it's like it's fearful, and then the North, but in a good way you don't broke and down as to how it come about. And I will agree with your partner, because the passion in which you talk about things, the way you believe in what you say, it's all roaring of a lion. So I do partly agree, and many thanks. And only if you can adjust your camera small so that you will fit in the space, because you sort of the cut you hit off a little bit. Because I want to let people see this roaring Lioness from the North upper today, if they can. Many thanks for that. Yeah, I think it's better. Yeah, it's better. You just did not the rim. Yeah, thank you for that. Let's just go straight into the thing, Dolly. You don't talk about this drug we they call Kush, where they cause havoc now with countries alone for quite a while now. And some of we get little understanding of the drug. I wonder what's in your understanding of the drug. What's in really now this drug we they call Kush, Dolly? If you can help for educate those of us who don't know what exactly this drug we they cause the havoc is, please.
Thank you, Mr. Friend. These drugs is like a plague. Don't fall upon the nation, but destroyed the young. Like when you let's say not to all the salon, but we focus on salon because now we come and in the way things are going now, we country, it really worrisome for a young generation. This push will begin everybody's push. I mean, feel to say not just a phone name, because I don't ever come across something with name so. Would they hear about drugs when like cocaine and the couple one we get na sagarion na jamba, you know, when they even go and then, you know, you not be ever know there is something worse than jamba where they destroy young one. When we begin hearing about the schools, but people that then are London, when they buy this thing, they can go na salon. But we just feel say that normal business. I begin found out from here. They ask about this Kush. Ask one guy. We tell me say these drugs, then the planter. Nah, this then cut them. Sponge for this. Wait tell me. They say if me want some for salon, they say they can't go salon plenty. I said no. I say me no me they can't go to the country. I said because it kill a lot of people. I said but what we did again? They say Kush. I feel to say not just for not to anything where they exist. They say yes. They say them bring them begin selling like a team, but they quickly try for stop them because they realize they're not to team. Now drugs were they kill. I say really. I say okay. So then I begin to talk about these drugs. But before we talk about tramadol, and the main policy where they bring these drugs to the country, where I get to do me underground finance, when they get the drugs, then get lab, so then they go not only the drugs, then the Kush, but then get something when they contaminating the drug inside the Kush, where they make the thing they become more powerful and destructive. So I begin wonder why human beings go do this to their own fellow human beings, their own people. Then I begin to talk about it. I begin make noise about it. Hoping that the law enforcement then will able to listen and pay attention because this not anything what we put inside politics. We should not politicize this thing. This is like a national issue for everybody to stand up because this is our children, this is our youth, our brothers and sisters. What they get caught up on these drugs. And it'll become addicted. If the government not puts in hand quickly for stop this and not just stopping them taking it. Now the one that would be a car. And we submit it.
Okay, Dolly, we really get for come to that because you did ahead of me, of course, because this is personal, for you. Because one of the issue is why you don't make this thing a personal crusade, but you already don't address that, which I really appreciate. And trust me, we're gonna come to the country today on Gigi Snow. But before we go there, I want to ask you why you think this more and more young people return to this drug when they call Kush, or generally why will people turn to Kush drugs, or generally why people can turn to them continually?
Thank you, Prince. It is easy for the young people they come to these drugs. Looking at the situation in our country, the only thing that is so easy and accessible to our youth is these drugs. Because if we look back, we politicians then, they not get anything good when they put for the youth. We get places where they call like a attire bases. These are the areas who say then they bring drugs when they encourage our youth instead of making them become useful for their lives and also become useful for the country. then rather they go put in an entire basis and expose them to these drugs, because these are the people they are using to keep them in power, to go after their opponents. And this is the reason why they are so easy. They are vulnerable. You know, they're not. Some people say they're very poor. So it's so easy to make them get caught up into these drugs, because that's the only thing.
So you therefore also think, say, this could also be as a consequence of economic problems now a country, and especially we own, where there are no opportunities, so there's a possibility, correct?
There's a possibility, yes. It is obvious. Because they don't get nothing for do. And even you say things are so hard, but the only way they will keep themselves, you know, for many feel say they don't get hope anymore. So it's like in our local language, it's better not right now than nothing, you know. So they prefer, it is so easy for them to make them forget, because they are stressed. Food no day, education no day, work no day. When you look, most of them today when they take this thing, people who are educated and don't go to university, there are no jobs for them. So out of frustration, feel say when they take this, it will make them feel better. And then they become addicted. So yes, it is due to economic problem. Many country.
Yeah. Many thanks for that, Dolly. Obviously, in most countries where people get addicted, you know, studies that have been conducted over many years, Famulem, if you never know this, people then they turn to their kind of stuff there because of social difficulties, economic difficulties, financial difficulties, because it's a kind of shortcut. You embalm yourself because you can't afford X, Y, Z. So I just asked the sister, because the sister, she's more familiar, you know, with this, and definitely it looks like it has to do with economic problem. But only I feel you drift where you been say you even explain this earlier before I interject for understand whether this could be as a consequence of economic problems. I hear you talk about government, and in fact you don't talk about government a lot. I mean the connection within, you know, this entire thing where they on go. I don't know whether I should put it to you straightforward as this, as to whether you think the government is kind of involved, you know, in the destruction of its own citizens. Now, view that the way you hold.
Thank you, Prince. Now, view this way from a very tender age. Because, like I can always say, I come under the corridors of power. I know from where I small how politicians they handle young people when you don't come to election time. And then after election, how they treat the young people. Would they see them the way they buy, like they roam, them take a part, make them become hyper, become destructive, they go and cause trouble for elections. And this is all done by politicians. They're not giving these substances to them, picking them. But then get the youth them, then get agents them. Now some districts, areas where they use, they get the cheerleaders, they get all this, now the youth leader, this area. So they know how to gather them. You know, they give them these substances before we don't reach to this Kush today. This is an ongoing thing. And we don't see government and no kind of power. We don't ever see them say them go make institutions. We say they go able to use this young, energetic men, let them go become useful in the country, but they rather lift them until when them come for elections, then begin take them, go put them on a entire basis. What's not the essence of this entire basis? What's not the benefit of this entire basis? What did they do to the kingdom? But it is a door. It is a way of destroying them. Now that's the work we don't create for them. Say the ghost door. You say APC are trying base, SPP are trying base. I mean, this is something where, to me, and they feel them. For let people that begin looking to picking them and endorse attire basis. None of their relatives or even their children are endorsed attire basis. What is our young men, educated men, who are not able to create job for them? They're not able to skill them. Because if you cannot go to university, at least let them make something where will become useful. There are so many things we will able to use with young people then. Where they're going to become useful in the society. Where they're not able to get themselves engaged into drugs. But the government, them both past and present, that they make with picking them today, don't turn to what they've been so, because they're not able to make them become, they're not access to anything good other than this bad drugs. Yes, government responsible for what they go on our country.
Okay, Dolly, many thanks, for your straight and direct answer, which is usually the trademark of the Lioness from the north. And this worries me because my next question was about what can be done about this. Because for handle such a problem on this scale, in my opinion, is there has to be collaborative measures from government ministries, departments, and etc. or try for handle the issue. But if governments, are involved, politicians are involved in this kind of business here, then therefore it becomes difficult, for let you pass legislation or law, as we will call them, for outlaw the processing, the sale, and other things then we related to this thing. In other words, how for step and down, so that your government could be in perfect control of the entire situation. But now that we understand the government itself, has some connections, what do you think say we need for do now? Because other than that, this thing just they spread and continue for destroy the future of the country. Because the young people affected are the future of the country. What do you think say we need for do now? What do we do, Dolly?
Yes, thank you. Like I said, this government, people them, I can always say, who are the government? Now we the people them. Those that we are calling government, they are representatives that we the people them choose for representing. Now we are the government. And if today, we make at the call women, men, and then all society, all walks of life, that's Sierra Leone. We will take a look at the destruction of our children. For make we take the fight. Let the government, well, people that don't put, make them go look after me, let them go protect me today. They don't turn for destroying. And like I always say, the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. And if they don't start from the root, like we don't go plants. Instead of you go water that plant there for make it grow well, you rather go put something go make the roots die. When I in the happen today, that's Sierra Leone. Today, the youth have been targeted by politicians. What strong level they say, these are the people who will rise up against me tomorrow. So what will we get for do? Let we destroy them. When we destroy them, then we will stay in the power as long as we want to stay. So this is the message where we Sierra Leoneans we protect to all. Everybody, all over the country, we all need to stand up and come together. We all need to make neighborhood watch them. Young men, they can't start for go after, for go take the bubble them. The bubble not them are the target. The sellers them, the distributors them, we sabi them. The law enforcement, what will help with. Anybody will call in name, will not go. And go, you don't say go do anything for go harm them. They are trying to go verify. Like we don't call names them, we don't call people them. And this thing they can prove it was a key. This thing not just the common other country enter this country, but it they come through the water key. So that's people they talk to themselves, just feel sorry and get for once and stop this thing from entering inside the country. This not for magic. This thing not get for fly come back inside. This thing they come inside. We water key. And we all get to stand up and make sure we hold this fight together.
Yeah, before I go to my next thought or question, if I hear you correctly, you say this is an effort by government or politician them for destroy the future of the country, which means young people. But the reason beyond this, again, if I hear you clearly, is for let them perpetuate themselves in power. But at least there is an opposition, okay, where obviously can highlight the mistakes of the government in power, where basically not in duty. Are you also accusing the opposition of being involved? Is this what you mean by a cartel? Is this the scheme? Will you break that down for me, please?
This now the unfortunate part of the current situation that we come to. We all know since 2018 where this government can power of Mandabio. It's not something that me, Lioness, will be scared for talking to the one no. Say yes. Say the opposition, the APC, looking at the way they conducted themselves for the past 5 years, going to 6 years, it is obvious that they are part of this for destroying the youth and keeping themselves. But remember, them picking them already. None of them picking them already. They don't make sure they don't secure them picking them. Come out of the country to make them go school. Others country them and then left and will not ever hear the opposition. Come make them table this. From the time they talk about Tramadol, we don't begin to talk about this. Where that 2020, where this Tramadol TV don't do one. And what they expect say the opposition therefore do more than even the government. Because you are government in waiting. And you get to make sure say for every damn thing when you go on at the country, you are there to protect the interests of the people. Not your own interest or the interest of your political party. Now, therefore, protect the interests of the people then. So, if anything don't come of a national issue, wherever they talk, I believe that the opposition will be the first people them wait for camp up, wait for flag and parliament. They make press conferences because this is a very, very serious national issue with the opposition for champion instead of we and the media for champion. So yes, the opposition is also in collaboration with the government for destroying our young generation.
Thank you very much. I think you made a brilliant point right there. To hold power to account. So it's not because you're in opposition, but you get obligation to your country.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing what you're obligated to do by law, then you are equally complicit. And I can't agree with you more, my dear sister. Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking to Madam Dolly Tarawali, aka or better known as the Lioness from the North. Where they talk about a drug where they cause real problem now in country. And this is very close to some of we had them. And the sister addressed a few things which are really pertinent, but you get to go back to the video or listen to some of the key things in the because there is a shock and awe after the response of some Sierra Leoneans that even though the fabric of the society is being destroyed. So like I say, when they talk about the drug called Kush, where people like can smoke like cigarettes or jamba, right? They roll them up. And I must say, during my own youth time, I had affiliation with cannabis, of course. I left it some 20-some more years ago. I know the feeling. But what you really talk about is something which is illegal, a synthetic drug, and then call and Kush. And let me not mistake them with marijuana. Completely different strain. The danger upon this particular drug, we can look at from a perspective of 3 or maybe twofold. One, the risk for let you self-injure yourself that you're not even aware, which is by the time you take them, it knock all consciousness out of you. You not get no feeling. I don't know whether you get feeling because I haven't taken it, but we can see the actions of end users them. What can happen to them? They look like zombie-like. I mean, man can just walk out into traffic. Oncoming vehicle, can you imagine? Which means that you're not even conscious. And this is what I'm trying to talk about. And it's also equally very, very addictive, very highly addictive. And another greater problem to this, where I believe in a social menace, while government for take this serious because it's just an addendum on top of the problems which are just spiraling out of control in the country, is the need for finance, the drug problem itself. That's very, very real. And like I say again, Fambulem, do not touch that dial. We are talking to none other than the Lioness from the north. And when we come back, we will come to part 2 and the final part of this program. Don't touch the dial. So, right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 2 of the program. We're having Sister Dolly Tarawali, aka the Lioness from the North, as our guest. I did a brief just before we go on the step. We break the first seg. Now we're into the second seg. Sister Dolly, these drugs are not expensive, obviously, very, very cheap, and you can find all around the country because it can become rampant. Now, you don't go upland. In fact, you don't go beyond the borders of the country. And we talk about, you're using them as an escape from unemployment and other poverty-related issues, them, sexual and physical abuse, and many other things. Then, how do you think, say, people and the finance them problem they are, then drug addiction they are, now through criminality or other means or prostitution? How do you think, Dolly?
I strongly believe, and I know most of the people that way they take this thing. Then they sell, so they go steal from their parents. They go sell. So then they go, then they thief because they work. They don't get no for get money. Now thief, then they thief. Anything what they see, so you're gonna say the country she don't rampant everywhere. When they see that the old baba, let me imagine the baba where they kill that 27-year-old baba where they kill around outside famous today around where go keep that barrel. How much does a barrel cost? Waiting that baba go keep that barrel. It's if they go sell them. The highest he can sell that 50,000. And when you get that 50,000, it was smoke that goods for this. Like the drugs is not expensive. So it's easy for me to get the drugs. Then can go thief gold. Not see them try work for ball. You know, go thief gold. You know, for go sell them. What did they go do with it? If I go buy Kush. So the only means they are getting money for me to go buy this drugs. I get one farm now, within a London area. We don't build in house, you don't fund in house, everything left in the in Bobo don't sell everything. Everything don't sell inside the house. So go say Kush. Now what he be the try for do? They look for Papa in house book.
Oh yeah.
Before in Papa hot and make them go on carry and go there free customer go get 1,000 they go try them. The Bobo almost don't go off. Hey, these people don't come to university. They do everything. No job.
Yeah, so this is a consequence of the social problems, that we talk about. So hence government's kind of responsibility. But again, listening to you, if government, they use this for cover the failures of the system, failure of the people, then obviously it will help for the fuel the campaign, and nothing we need to be looked into. My next question, Dolly, is probably one you don't answer already in a different form, but I will ask that anyway. The police or the law departments in the country is supposed to get resources for combat issues of this kind. In other words, you get intelligence where they provide. Even you don't provide a lot of intelligence just by this conversation. In other words, we know some of the sources where they make provision as to the materials being used, whether not shipped and they ship them, and etc. And some of the local factories where these things have been processed, and they name them. I mean, if you know this, Dolly, definitely the security services in Sierra Leone, they're not dumb. They would know, the sources. But waiting the hinder them, from taking actions, we will help for mitigate the circumstance where the country is going through right now.
Well, this is the problem. For say waiting they happen na Sierra Leone. That's something where the government not aware of. This is a plan thing. This is why they make sure they do the state capture. Take the police, take the security, every institution has been captured by the government because they are the main source of bringing the drug inside the country. We can remember when Sovula was as the IG, we see what they come with drugs. Na container.
Yes.
We say them go offload. Waiting happen there, waiting not happen there. So one was sacked due to that. And when they see police them, then they take these drugs. They self the thing they affect them. They drink for one them. When they see them, but when they see the police, the car, and try for say this, it becomes serious. For make we try for do something. So because of the police, they want the head of police, they all get involved. This drug thing is not something which don't focus on the partakers. Let's focus on the source where this thing they come from. And security after the police, there is no way. They go come say we say me Lioness and no people them and they call them, give them direction, give them address it. If they are really serious to clamp this down, it is easy. It's not a very small country. We all know we say. And people know. We know the whole people with the go, they see they will say they go sell them free. So if they want to clamp this down, it is easy for them, but because they sell the seller, at one point we get one for the man, what is that accepted, then our salon, when they go arrest a wife, it's that they all sort of making money. So, which means even them, because it's easy for them, they're not being arrested, so they are doing it. They are the main source for letting people get these drugs. They know that they sell them. They see somebody, they arrest somebody, go to police station. By the time you come out, they don't release them because the police, they're part of it. They are connected. It's like a network where we, the people that we affected, we the comrades, we the civilians, now we get for stand up. For me, we will able to stop this.
Yeah, Dolly, I think another brilliant point made. But as I listen to you, it occurred to me it's all as a consequence of political manipulation and economic difficulties in the country that are making more and more people to fall into this category. But it's pathetic at the same time because you get the flowers of tomorrow, the youths of tomorrow that are supposed to lead the country in a meaningful way, and they are getting caught up in this, destructive ability. I catch you say that person like you are willing for help the government, but the government is not, if we listen to you, it's not willing to go that direction there. Now I can ask you the question, how do we bring a stop, to this? Because there has to be a collaborating partner. But just before we move forward away from there, we not say we get the blame factor, but will you also blame end users? We not say they're sick. And I don't say a professional lady. Will you blame end users for being sick or for being lured into becoming addictive to something? Whereas we look at the factors we create them, or do we only focus on the people that we create the atmosphere outside these young people them are getting caught up? Where do you stand, Dolly?
I am honestly so much in sympathy with the partakers. There is no way I will blame the partakers. I blame those that bring the drugs in the country. The one that would sell and give them. Because, like I said, them people are not get option. They don't get nothing. Let me just take example. The rampant for these drugs don't rampant. Let me look 10 years back. When we get so many jobs for the country, during the APC government, we get a lot of young men who then be employed through the London mining, so we walk up to go na Kabbalah, we go na Buna, job them be there all over the place. So there was no culture. We know you think of this. They bring drugs to the country, but we not be seeing anything like this. So we are not focused on that. Because most of the youth they were employed. They be they work. No matter how little they be they pay them. No matter how little.
Dolly, just a quick interjection on that basis there. Obviously everybody know you that you are an APCN, and the APCN means the opposition party. But you've equally just made a case, even though by my own estimate, the statistics as to which you say is right, because we can do a comparative analysis between the periods the way they talk about, and it's there for people to see. But you sabi with young people now. Oh, Dolina APC, I make it say this. You have to say to those people in terms of your example or comparison where you try for make, because they're definitely going to accuse you.
Yes, I know that. And this is what we try to tell Sierra Leone. Let me just look Sierra Leone. Let put the red aside and put the green. And when the green, white, and blue, when would they ban this fight? But let me bring scenarios then where it don't matter. I'll be APC and I will never say I am not, and I am. And that's make if when we want to talk, I talk on a national issue, and I talk directly to Sierra Leone, and I talk to APC, and I talk to politicians. We're not agree for doing their job. I don't care which political party they belong. And they talk to Sierra Leoneans, they won't give responsibility. What they not agree for, execute that responsibility. I will talk to them. And that's make a big example. Say, if this government, when the APC began in power, will not see this rampant of drugs. Because there were jobs. And anybody can testify. If you want to achieve this and becoming an APC, you can write to opinion, you can say it. But I'm not saying becoming an APC, but I'm saying as a Sierra Leonean, and that is the fact. There were jobs. People were employed, not people who take drugs. Because when they don't go work at the end of the month, they're getting paid. We see plenty young men there at that time, they begin building houses. They are responsible people, But look at those people today. Look at these young men today. I mean, the government in power, they should be ashamed of themselves. They will be ashamed. These are Sierra Leoneans. They cannot be in power forever. These are the people who for take over tomorrow. No matter how they try for do it, they're not able to kill them. Not all man will take drugs. But this is just the fact. Now, example I give them. When APC began in power, during Honest Corona, NGOs will bring jobs, not to Honest employ them. But there was no fear in the country when they see NGOs and they come. When they bring company, then they can't open the company, then employ young men. They were employed. This is why we see when Padika died, we see young men are crying. Because this is the man who be the create job for the young people in the country. So yes, I know they will accuse me, but this is just the fact. Except if you don't want to accept, and if you want to say anything about that, you are right in your opinion. Equally, I am right to what I'm saying, because that's just the truth.
Yeah. Okay. Let me drift away a little bit from the country, but on the same basis. Guinea. where we share a border with, is experiencing similar problem. And they are blaming Sierra Leone because it looked like, say, waiting and they say that's the origin of this Kushmania where they affect the young people in their country. Liberia is going through the same thing. And recently, we see Banjul, the Gambia, in which law enforcement officers, including parliamentarians, spoke strongly against Sierra Leoneans, then the influence where they get in that country they, in terms of this Kush drug where they affect Gambians. They don't mince them words at all. And as we speak today, obviously, I still get a lot of connections in Gambia, and they can always provide you with information. Right now, Sierra Leoneans in the Gambia live in fear. Because some have been jailed, some have been stigmatized. I mean, as a Sierra Leonean and a proud Sierra Leonean, what do you say to this and waiting for do for avoid this stigmatization?
I feel therefore join Sierra Leone, therefore join the Gambia government in fighting, and then make sure say, and if they see anybody want to say what they sabi, what they know, let them make sure say the authorities let them know say this person, this is the only way they can able to stop the stigmatization, rather than if them because let's say drugs, not a network. One person know they do one. Now a network. So if they all not come together for trying to expose the network, then I'm not saying they will never stop out for duty, but they will minimize them. Even like I was saying, okay, put what they do. Then they get their anti-drug police, the way they go all around, everything about them, and they put them over, say Jama, they know the kind of quantity where you get, you know, all of us are the neighborhood. They get people them. They not say this thing day, but they try for make something and clamp down. But that is not happening. So if Sierra Leoneans in the Gambia, therefore join the law enforcement in the Gambia for fight the Sierra Leoneans, the way they bring these drugs inside and expose them, let them be apprehended. And me they tell the Gambian government, any Sierra Leonean what they own, may not be listen. May them give them 20 or 20 year imprisonment, make them lock them up.
Yeah, and I think the first part of your response to me is a great response, because people need to collaborate with law enforcement officers for stem a menace, for nip things then at the board. Other than that, it blows up and then it become negative, such as what we see in our own country, where they affect all spectre, all levels of the society, including government officials, the military, all the infrastructure, and we're supposed to look at the country in well-being. I mean, this is quite serious. So I really do appreciate that answer there. We talk about this briefly, but I want to go into in depth before we end this program, which is about part of the way how people can infect that kind of thing there is through awareness. Of course, that's part of what you they do and others they do. And Fambul, tomorrow we get another crusader for this Kush drug business. Poppy Khan, she will be on the program tomorrow, and we're going to talk or pick up from where me and Dolly leave from. But when they talk about awareness, Dolly, what will you advise Sierra Leoneans then, whether not podcasters or bloggers or vloggers, as to waiting for do, or other people them in different structures, because we get half organization them where they try for create awareness, I suppose. But the problem, the magnitude of the problem is as such that we need a proper structure as to how to raise awareness. What do you go suggest?
Well, the suggestion we are going to suggest today for this problem in Sierra Leone, I want to talk to the woman them. The woman them gets to do a lot. Now we they feel the pain. Now we they born picking them. And if you look at Sierra Leone, I can say 80% of the women there, now we know the breadwinners, now we they affect more. We they born with picking them, get them on a school, suffer with them, that they get affected. And I call for them women organization for men them come out. When I say come out, now every neighborhood, every district, every street, let them come for sensitize the young people them. For say this drugs is not good. And may they also put vigilantes, especially in the neighborhood, the young ones, may them begin for watch, neighborhood watch. Who say in the cellar? The underworld the cellar. We all know say salon a very small country. Except if you know how for that, but if you want for the one clap this, if we are willing to stop this drug, the underworld the bring account. The first people they also they will apprehend. They got that neighborhood and the underworld they sell and the other they say the beast the underworld they take her. That's the reality. That's I mean, it is wrong. Beating them, it is wrong. Not to their fault. Now the one they want to sell, if they get somebody want to sell them, they'll get them at their hand. Therefore, imprison them for 20 years or 25 years, the minimum. Don't give for anybody. If they see them pass that by law, they don't all two then pass them. Like how they see that they pass cases themselves. What people what they want to apprehend and they do it quick. But like this, let them put politics aside. Anybody where they own, and they for all mic them, for both everywhere, for say anybody where they own. If they apprehend you, they sell that is smoke, but how they sell them. If you get 25 years imprisonment.
That's quite tough. I wish you were the chief judge or the chief police or somebody with some strong powers in the country. But again, Fambulem, obviously I'm not comfortable with the word like vigilante. How this is on how the word waiting exactly mean. I can understand in passion about them, but it's a difficult situation in the sense that even if we are organizing ourselves as neighborhood watch, it has to be in collaboration with the law enforcement, because cannot be allowed to take the law into their own hands. Unfortunately, from waiting at the area, we happen for day in a situation where the law enforcement cannot be trusted. And this is what I'm trying to speak to. How do we get them to be trusted when we act as such? We are able to take the evidence to them ask them rather, act is difficult. Dolly, quick, are you dissatisfied with the response of Sierra Leoneans them so far? I mean, in terms of numbers and with the young people them Kush. But it seems like for money, people jumping. But are you disappointed by the response of your country people them so far?
Well, I can't say I am disappointed. I am more disappointed at some of the young people when they collaborate, because most of the ones who they bring this from are young men. My young men and young women who feel say we will become rich by all means. Now, young men and young women. How you go look? When they bring that country for how long? Then they see the bubble. Like how you rightly say, then they see traffic. They cross. They know nothing about the car. They see young man up. They see. They say it's for them. It's a zombie. You go happy for bringing this kind of drugs. Few days ago, we see police then go apprehend some substances them where they say these are the liquid when they put inside the Kush, when they smoke and when they make the spiff. You will see one blue tablet. And when they tell the police that some of these people they talk, if they go to those places, they will find these things. But they're not going there because they supply them. When I listen to them, that's we they talk say the police. God not go forgive you because the job that they do, now for protect lives and properties, now for keep law and order. But today, there is no law and order in the country. God therefore created the world. He created the world with order. But in this country called Sierra Leone, there is no order. Anybody today will get power. If they do what he feel for do, he do what he want for do. This is the situation of Sierra Leone. Nobody no care, but the ordinary people is all about themselves. So who can stand up now for the ordinary people? Who can talk to the ordinary people? And this the ordinary people. These are the people who they need. We all see them during elections. What they get them, they give them the same drugs for go vote for them. They don't take power. They are abandoned. Look at people like Karate. All these people they are young men. One of them were able to contribute to the society, but they're by politicians. You look at Anata, what is said done. We all see these things are not hidden. Sometimes we say we cannot take the law into our hands, but we are getting to the point that if we don't take the law into our hands, I don't know what we can do now, because the people that we are expecting to do what they're supposed to do, they're not doing it. So are we going to sit down and watch them and see our young men are dying? I think this will go for throw back to the people. Me now will sit down. I see me picking. I know that they sell. I will not live to see that. And this is the situation that we are getting into. If the police not stand up and go to the gate for them, the people will do their job. And if they do not want that, they should stand up and do what they're supposed to do. If they don't do that, we are getting to the point that people get to come out and fight for themselves. We don't see in other countries. Let them surprise if we see it in Sierra Leone. Because people are getting tired, people are getting fed up, because it seems as if they are provoking the people. The president no one for nobody care. And they come and they deny things them. What they said, they see who they are. So what you get for do? This is the message for Sierra Leoneans. We get for look after ourselves. We get for stand up for ourselves. Nobody not get for can do it for it. We not do it. If the police don't do it, now that's when they talk to them. When they call the police, you don't want to do your job. But if you cannot do your job, you will do it because we get for free with picking. We gotta do something. Sierra Leoneans, we get for do something for stop this. Otherwise. Everybody goes suffer in this country.
Yeah, Pambolem, I told you so that the lady is passionate, when she speaks, especially in things that she believes in. And you can see the nation is being self-destruct. The people who are meant to be the future of the country are being destroyed through this drug addiction. And this will bother any true meaning Sierra Leonean, except you're not a true meaning Sierra Leonean. You have to be a selfish and the B word, the capital B word, for you not to really sort of care, because it's only about you now and what you profit from out of it, whilst the nation is sinking. And without the nation, who are you? These are some of the things that we need to really think about. Thank you, Dolly. I'll get one or two more questions for you and I'll let you go. I think it's been a brilliant program, and family, I will not forget for joining the program tomorrow. I can understand, the low turnout. Last year we had 500,000 viewers. Then I wish, but that's not been played on all of this, because it will have been through the roof. The beginning of this year, the first 3 months we in March, I think that 2 great programs I don't host. Of course, wasn't feeling too good, too well, and so. I can always say social issue where they're online, because there are thousands of us. But we are back. I've been just one family and know this. And the first person for grace the program in terms of an interview on my own part this year is Dolly Tarawali, where I want for comment, and the Lioness from the North. Like I say again, 2 more questions for you and I'll let you go. This Kush where we talk about, my dear sister, like we say now synthetic drugs. Synthetic drug na thing where they mix up with LZ, forget an outcome where they produce some kind of strain of another drug where make them synthetic. With the illicit fentanyl or fentanyl, as some people pronounce them, is involved. Tramadol, which has been taken for a while in the country, where police use for drug with young people, them make them zombie-like, was used. But there's something new at the anyway. I don't know much. I don't know whether you know much about this because you're well informed on the subject, which now this use of diamond bone. Is this something where you don't hear it? And if there's any credence to that story, why is it being used? If there is truth to the story, what do you hear?
Well, I don't hear you about this diamond bone. I don't see the stem to them. But I really believe this. I don't honestly believe say people that go to bed go take bone. I mean, Salome, without ever sink inside me. Just like how we the hear about this pampers, saying the boy pampers, water, and the drink them, and it make them become zombies. All these things. Ain't not able to sink inside me for that I believe some of them in them. Like this diamond bone, trust me, Prince. I don't get much for talking about this diamond bone.
Okay.
Because I'm not able. I can't comprehend. I'm not able to believe. For say this thing that happened.
Absolutely, and I'm in agreement with you because it really confused me. But as people from an older generation, when everything will look like straightforward, decent, and what have you.
And me just believe no more saying. And they bring this diamond bone thing for confuse me from the real drugs when they come in the country. Then they push and say, then they go take diamond bone. Now so I look at it. So then they come, they say they go pull diamond. This thing I'm not able to process them again. I just believe no more say they are trying to cover up. For the drugs where they bring out of the country, they ship them to the mambo. But me strongly believe the drugs, they get inside like the country in the pull and come on. Because me know people them what they buy on. Because me, like I say, one of the Asian guy who they sell this thing, what I know, two Spaniards they would go buy, and they do business with the guy because if they bring cosmetics there for me, what are the ship going to Salon? He called me, say, Spaniards are coming, are you not doing this thing? I said, waiting. And because of me, they stopped coming there, and I told them, I left police scandal. It's just down the road here. I'm not selling out them they can. So as they go by on other side now. But don't they? Because I saw the man, Asian. I see you, my friend. I saw pictures of what this thing they do. So we picking them finally. I said I am troubled by this. And if I know whosoever is supplying these drugs in my country, trust me, I will make sure the police knows about this.
Okay.
It's the seller.
Of course, that's what he will say. But
that's what he will say.
Yeah, exactly. Does he really care for us? If you want them to supposed to really care for us, who are citizens of the country are going there to make money. He's just out there to make money. We know Asian business people. But I can't do that because now the last part of my question, Andy. But I've been just one way in this time and bonus. You raised a good point. And I tend for reason with you to a certain degree because anything in this case is not certain. But what we know is there is always a diversionary, certain unscrupulous individuals that can use, be it the government, create drama for pull people attention for one set of things and direct you to the other side. So the business people can do the same thing. So in terms of the diamond bone, because just before they come to studio, I mean, they do a little bit of a background research as to what bones get for do with this because some friends when they explained to me earlier, say when they embalm a body, the chemical used, where I believe now formaldehyde, so it can go into the bone. So then they get something for the okay, so it makes sense because now chemical and all of this is chemical. But when you look at some other research where they tell me say It's just sulfur. The bone are just sulfur, and there's nothing else, here to it. But I will leave that because that's not my area of expertise. And maybe one day we will get somebody who will kind of explain this to me. Dolly, you mentioned a few things here tonight and other things on the video, because this is a subject that you're very passionate about. You seem to care very much about your country. You've made it clear that, in fact, you've called names in many of your audios and videos. You've named names, people and where say are into it, and you've been there on the high when you've been say this. So very passionate about this. You also say, and this we Lily conversation, that there is a possibility that those people the way who are trafficking, who are making this provision by one way or the other, leading to this entire Kush business, whether na Lily Pina you supply, whether you help to facilitate the process some kind of a way, or you live here in Europe somewhere, you are willing, as a duty to country and yourself, and as a mother, or name and shame them people, and then if you go to the authorities, you will do. I mean, just one for seek further clarification on that, whether that is still something that you are going to do, because it's quite dangerous, of course, but you are in Europe, so you should be fine. That's something you still passionate about, that if you've got the opportunity for stop this rubbish way they go on, you go stamp your foot down. If you go to British police, Interpol, or what have you, with evidence and names, you will you?
Definitely. Friends, I will definitely.
Okay.
I will.
Okay, Dolly, my final question to you will be, there is a name that you've mentioned many a times with regard to this entire business, where people find difficult, some people find difficult to absorb. And that's a name where very popular on social media around, even in Freetown, Sierra Leone, and that's the name of Admire You. Yeah. I only begin for reading to Admire You because I listened to one or two of your audios and the way you talk about them passionately and involvement, in which there was one audio of yours in which you say, go to this place, go to this address, this has happened right now, and etc., etc. You were so confident about it. But even though you provided direction and intel and information, nothing came out of it. Obviously, the name BO is a powerful name in the country right now, politically speaking. Why you think say nothing happened, and why you keep the mentioning name? How confident are you that she's involved in this trafficking and production of this Kush drug, and whose level were they?
Thank you, Mr. Prince.
Thank you.
You know, Salon, let God help we country. People when they do this, yeah, people don't know get respect of money in the first place. Boastful. They come out openly. They throw money. Like money not out for them. Please look me and you then. We know how we struggle for that will make. I want to go make an hour.
Yeah.
For let we go take money. They throw away. Just like that. Say they give people that. We see. Well, that is not the case. But Admire Bio, me know waiting me the talk. The people that way they do the business with Admire Bio, because they don't get inside Admire Bio, they're not able for talk. And knowing the Lioness, it will talk and call them, and no ever deny. Say, I not say, they will call me. Like the incident will happen if I Admire Bio, then make the challenge Admire Bio. And I'm glad that Admire Bio come, then they say, he gets accidents that impose. And today I come again say, let Admire Bio go, let doctors them go, and see Admire Bio influence. It's not accident it gets. Not part of the explosion, Admire Bio is damage. And she was flown straight to go to America. Who said them go do influence? And this boy, where the boy that went and died inside it. One pound they will survive. One Nebraska. In West America. The wife contacted me. Saying that this happened. Give me the address and everything. From the police. The police refused to go. Because they are part of it. And even the very night, the police, they secure at my in-house. They don't even greet for people that go, even the name for them. Nobody explain what happened, what the fire make. Nobody. They're not alive, but they make barricades and people to the pass. That particular night, the road was barricaded. Nobody they pass. Until when they enforce the fire, get rid of the dead bodies, go bury them at the middle of the night. Then the one who then take care nah. Emergency. They were rejected. On their way, the two died. But this woman survived. This guy. Ordinary agents. Yes. They did it as I speak. And now as Admirabio, as I talk, let me capitalize it. Admirabio, me, I didn't know that, no I. And I make what they talk at the call because I am sure of what I'm talking. I get evidences, and if Admirabio no say at the light panel, like how the African person in light panel APC, let Admirabio to me. Let's take me anywhere. If you not say the line. But me not say that's what's at the top. Admirabio, she is the biggest supplier. Now the biggest supplier. This is why they make sure that all the building and they control the water key. Then they put these drugs inside barrel. Kush and go na Sagalio. Distributor. Now you don't pass the business, go to a cousin. One Aliu. Aliu in West Delaware Southeast. But they just don't come.
1 minute, please. So you mean the BOs like Admire, and you say the BOs, you're in a plural sense, more than one, are connected to the political elite, especially the president.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the only means that they do for bring the drugs for the country. And Yakuba Biyode and Wataki, they are crossing with these drugs. So we are still waiting for the police. They don't say they don't get the barrels, they'll come on Wataki. Let us see, because if they pass with the barrel, it is obvious that the man in charge of Wataki get for nobody for this. But I see the police don't go talk as well. At the end of it all.
Yeah, okay, Dolly. Obviously that was my last question, but I'll just do some short puts quickly. So you seem to be armed with evidence and you talk authoritatively. And sometimes you do use that phrase. They talk authoritatively. I'm just trying to pretend you for a minute. But you get this kind of evidence. Have you ever approached the police or tried for sending the evidence? I'm not saying by your view they won't do anything, but just keep putting the evidence through, because we in a salon can say case nearly rotten or case nearly old, just be in case. Have you?
I don't talk to police in a salon. I don't talk to politicians. Yeah. I don't talk to them. And then the first policeman where I talked to was inspector. Ever since then. In fact, he blocked me from Congo Coast because somebody where I know. Yeah. So it cut me off. He said this, it is above we. I said, well, resign. I said, resign. It's this day above you, resign. Because you cannot be in a job that you cannot do your job. So what's the point you been there?
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a difficult ask, Dolly, because if he does resign out of principle, we're difficult in our country. I mean, how does he survive? And I know they encourage him in any shape, sense, or form, but I try to play the devil's advocate, if you can understand.
Yeah.
But
I know.
Yeah, one final thought, Dolly. A very brilliant interview. How optimistic or how hopeful are you for your country? Because we did in a dire strait, to be really honest. Economic problems, financial problems, health problems, drug problems. I mean, a compound of problems. But somewhere we need for pluck, yeah, some sort of hope. But some people say these are bleak times, and I agree with them. So my question again, one final thought on this brilliant interview is: how optimistic are you? How hopeful are you for your country?
As a Christian, I am very much optimistic. I am optimistic because what is happening in our country, for some of us, it is not strange. We know that this thing it will happen because some of us we predicted this. We talk and say, if Manda Bio, people that if we don't elect APC during the election, we say with a big one, no, not give Manda Bio. If we not give Manda Bio, Salon, it will go back. It's how we know what to go. What? Like we always say, me, I believe in God. And I strongly believe, what is happening in our country? It is an eye-opener to we Sierra Leoneans. Let we believe in our country. Let we support our country. Let we stand together as Sierra Leoneans. Let we forget to say me na APC or me na FAPP, me na Southeast, me na North. Let we begin think this is not a lesson, because looking at what is happening in our country today, everything that we are going through, it is not just APC in opposition that is suffering from this. It is Sierra Leoneans. We all. Whether you vote for this government, you don't vote for them. Whether you are part of this government, you are not part of it. We are all suffering as a country. So this is a way for let we all come together. I think this is a time where God wants you for let we come together as Sierra Leoneans. For make we go unite together and fight the common enemy. For make we get back we country to who we want them. But it will continue. For look, we say, oh, me na Southeasterner, me na Northerner. It will be difficult. So me message this night to Sierra Leoneans. Me at the beg. We not get other home, we not get other country. This is not the 24th century. What if they talk about the media? We're not talking because we hate the government. But we want the government to do what they're supposed to do. We put them in power. Now we give them power. Therefore, listen to we, not to we for listen to them. Now, what do we want them for do? What do they want for do? And in democracy, if democracy in America is different from that of Sierra Leone, they will not call Sierra Leone not democratic states. But we strongly believe say the same democracy what America they observe, we for observer, because democracy in a one definition against government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So if that is it, make we as Sierra Leoneans, let us not see this thing what they happen, or let us not see when government they go bad because you get inside that government say you not able to stop the truth. Let us see what you from wherever that they don't have the power, the things that what don't happen and don't drag you some this one today. And the opposition, what they're supposed to do, they're not doing. And what they're not doing today, that they will do today. And my message to the opposition today, if they not stand up and do what they're supposed to do, like I take in my audio, trust me, when I say, when 2028, what thing get the faith of 2028, not 2023. If we're not able to get, because everything will happen inside 2023, they are obvious. So there is nothing what we were able to say, we will hide them under the carpet. If we want to see Sierra Leone progress, justice. And if we say we take justice, we put them aside, we'll talk about peace. Then we are not ready. But I strongly believe with what they go on Sierra Leoneans, we're ready, not justice. justice, not to say nothing where not taboo, not to taboo, but justice then get peace. Where there is no justice, there is no peace. And for future leaders, don't be afraid. When you don't, not try to please nobody. Try to do your job to the best of your ability. For please the people then will put you in a power. Not for please the individuals or please your political party. The political party, not just a party, but you owe it all to the country. Not to everybody politically connected. What about those where just they go for vote? They are not connected to any politics. What you get for do for them? Build institutions. Let's empower the youth rather than destroying the youth. The human capital when Manda Bio talk about today is destroying our youth, bringing drugs. Let us say he's not even part. The same government not they bring these drugs, but they should be the ones to clamp down. The one that want to bring the drugs. If you give them any information, therefore make sure say they work on that information and see say these drugs come inside this country. These drugs therefore stop them once and for all. Therefore stop them. And the only way how go stop them that the one that what the government, like I rightly say, we're not able to do it without the authorities, the law enforcement. The police get for work with the civilians. The civilians then get for work with the police. But if the civilians are willing to do this and the police are not willing, that is the problem. But for me, trust me, I am hopeful that Sierra Leone it will great again, that we will get there, and very soon. I believe that because we're not going to relent, and we Sierra Leoneans, we all forget the same strength we for stand up. Salona we can't feel not to one man get her, not to one person. Now we all get and we all get rights. Let us not succumb to intimidation any longer. Let us stand up. Let us put we head there straight and say Sierra Leone will take them back. It don't happen in other country then. So if Rwanda able to get back their country, if Singapore able to get back their country, many other countries want to suffer past week, they get back their country. Now the people they stand up. So Sierra Leoneans, this is time. Let us not look for political party or this time my brother or this time my party or my papa in party, but let us look who says salon they go. Are we happy? Are we happy today? Or all what they happen? So now all the APC they affect, now all the Northern they affect. So their rights don't go for 1 million for ban. Or all the APC they ban 1 million. Now let we come together. Let we fix back we country. Let we unite together. Let us not see we say as Northerners or Southeasterners or APCNs or Mende or Tini, Limba, but let us see we say as Sierra Leoneans. And for future governments, what they can therefore put this inside with constitution, say let nobody not ask us to say what do you do, what say you come up, what do you try, all this, then they bring this. Let us just use that. Why you don't see inside the passport? What there? It says Sierra Leonean. Why you get one for no tribe? Why one for no start come out? Salona, a very small country. God bless me so much with everything. Where I not feel say anybody for sleep na body today in Sierra Leone. I not feel say today the 21st century Salon, we're surrounded by rivers. We today will not get water for drink. We the one that got our edge. I mean, let we self think. Say this is normal life. This is not normal life. You them born in a palm body, meeting mama na palm body, meeting grandpa na palm body. You back the you born in picking a palm body. You feel saying alive, or you feel saying it not because you lazy, not because we get the wrong people in the government. One person they kind of power, it gets 10, 15 houses. Are you gonna skip all in those houses? Sierra Leoneans, let us stand up. Let us let for talk for politicians. Let we know we rights. The biggest disease about Sierra Leone, we don't know our rights. Coming out here, they talk a politician who doesn't care about you. You get right, you get every right for criticize anybody. Now you rights. Now you put on the power, you get right for talk to them. No can defend them. Don't defend politicians. They are not to be defended. They are there for we, for make them do what they're supposed to do for we. We don't hate them. If we see some me, they call names. I'm not going to say for hate nobody, but I get rights for talk for my country. And you are there that get the responsibility. If you know what you're supposed to do, I get rights. And if you feel say I'm not for talk, my dear brother, my dear sister, resign, left the job. Somebody else will take the job. But you know what they pay you a month now? Like how go parliamentarians there. Well, now which country now they want to say they're going to remove democratically elected MPs 10 without any elections, and the opposition is happy for then a parliament with those unelected, illegitimate MPs, and he said it is normal. He said they bulldoze you. Where is it in the constitution? Bulldoze. We're not left for confuse the people of Sierra Leone. We're not left for confuse we. Please, we're not do the job. If you feel to say you've been bulldozed and you cannot perform, please resign. Somebody else go there. But we they beg on our politicians, we they beg on now. Do ya Salon, not small country. We are blessed with so many minerals. Otherwise, we will ask God, say, make it take all tea now, because we don't know what the benefits. We not get nothing what minerals they do for we. So then with the trust, then they give we money all side. What they give, they want to put down our pockets. How much debt now we get today under this government, under 5 years? We could not see the alternate year. Because all the money we got inside, it don't go inside people their pockets. And how they were able to pay back this money now for can inflict taxes upon inner. So that the government cannot even subsidize for rice. Because it get for pay back the money what they don't take. We don't get for pay. Now me and you too. You want to defend. You want to come for can cost me for politicians, and you they pay the price. So if you don't know, make you know. Stand up. Know your rights. Speak up. Tell the politician. Say, I am within my rights. And Lioness is within our rights at the top. So Sierra Leoneans, this is my message to tonight. Let us stand together. We don't hate them when they talk, but one made them know say some of we don't get sense, and we pass on this message, now civic education to our people. Let them know their rights. You can still lecture Rico, but tell them the truth. You can still like Mandabio, tell them the truth. You know, hater. Would that try for tell you the truth? Now because this one like when they make with enemies as if we hate you now. But listen, you there na position. You are not a private man. You're not a politician. If you don't want somebody for talk to you, come up on politics. Nobody will call you name. But as long as you are there, would they call you a name? And would they call you a name until you do the right thing for we? Thank you tonight, Mr. Prince.
Absolutely. And well said. I have nothing to add, nothing to remove. What a closure. But I will play una one last video. We will close the program. And this now as a courtesy. See, we been get at one time, but we'll not be able to use them. So one of them now just they close this program with, and mind you, it's a courtesy.
Yeah, what's your name? So how long it take Kush?
6 months.
Okay. So maybe take a heavy feel.
I don't really feel good. I really feel mentally.
Okay. So when you don't left and how do you feel?
Now I don't left and now I feel differences. Now I able to do something when I correct something. To the past we have been doing, even I even lost myself because I don't really think abnormal. I don't really feel miserable.
Okay. So what are your advice we get to young people in Sierra Leone, or everybody in Sierra Leone, whether young or old?
Well, me, I'd advise any Sierra Leonean, well, stay out of Kush, because one, Kush, they affect your system, they make you think well, think abnormal, do things when you recognize yourself. So me, advise as Sierra Leonean, I'd advise any Sierra Leonean, they stay out of drugs, because drugs, they damage your system, they make you think properly, already think abnormal.
Okay. So you go ever go into Kush back?
No, I don't ever do that again. Because since from my left, I see differences now, my life will recover. Now I'm able to take care of myself, everything when I correct something than the past.
Okay, that was it. It was a short video. And Fambolem is so good for see some familiar faces or you hear some familiar voices. Then back, Sister Memuna Barry, the only person will give me a title, Sir Prince, which I very much appreciate. Sir Dauda Gali, Mansare, welcome back, and all the other people. And we know say we get for grow back into this, but I appreciate una all. Again, that was a short video, and I apologize for the sound. I should have noticed una advice at the earlier stage, and I would have resolved it. Not my guest. I'm responsible for my guest. Having said this, ladies and gentlemen, can I say thanks to we guest once more, Tarawali, and I hope for Brian come again soon because there's so much for talk about on the political landscape, and she's full of enthusiasm. She's full of treasure. So I would like for Brian come back, and I appreciate him. Madam Dolly Tarawali, many thanks for taking we interview, and God bless you, sister. Keep the hard work, keep the fire burning.
Thanks for having me.
No worries at all, and goodbye, everyone.
Pambo de una